So
you
she's
know her
really,
for a
she's
long
really a friendly, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, she
okay.
had to ask the tough questions that people were asking. Yeah, but just project the salary savings as a savings towards whatever the surplus. July 10th, 2018, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you be so kind as to call the roll?
A quorum is present for the City Council, successor agency, Housing Authority, Finance Authority, and Parking Authority.
Any persons wishing to address the City Council on any item on today's agenda may do so at this time. Hearing no comment, we'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
So moved. Wait. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My statement was, I looked at the agenda and there was item number 6 regarding the parking situation in the city, and I just wanted to make my statement in the form of a request. Temporarily, if the city would consider allowing local business owners to purchase parking permits and use them at the meters, in the public spaces. Done the counting. So far, as a small business owner, I've spent $1,100 in parking meters since the parking structure has been closed. And if the city would consider the same $50 permits I was buying when the lot was open, if we could purchase that permit and use it at the parking meters to exempt from chasing the meters all day long, because it's costly and it's affecting my business practice when I have to take time away. That's the only thing I would like to ask for consideration. Thank you.
That's a good idea. Will you be here for a minute, sir?
I will say.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're going to close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payment.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
City Council, successor agency, and Housing Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. We're going to call PH1 through PH5
Sure.
in unison.
Sure. Public hearing to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection of assessments for the Morningside Park Maintenance Assessment District 1974-2. Public hearing to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection assessments for the in-town Maintenance Assessment District number 1975-1. Public hearing to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection of assessments for the Inglewood Street Lighting Assessment District number 1980-1. Public hearing to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collections of assessment for Darby Dixon Maintenance Assessment District Number 1987-1, and public hearing to consider approval of the draft fiscal year 2018-19 annual action plan for the submittal of the HUD Los Angeles Field Office.
Set the public hearing for all of these for July 24th, 2018 at 2 p.m. Consent calendar, items 2 through what? 2 through 11.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk,
Who did the, you got that?
I made the motion.
Okay, very good, thank you. Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
aye. A1,
Thank you, Mayor. We had 4 closed sessions items that we considered at 1 o'clock today. The first one is a auto accident claim. As to that matter, discussion was held and direction was going to be given to staff. Item 2, which is CS2, which is Bercioga versus City of Inglewood, which is
Angela.
Sorry? A sidewalk trip and fall, Los Angeles Superior Court case number 18 STLC 04553. As to that item, that was a discussion was held and directions given to staff. CS3 was a closed session regarding a workers' compensation claim of Cynthia Herbert, case number 2012-0059-ING, and the ADJ number is 9359909. As to that, there's a request for a motion to request settlement of authority up to $150,000.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Well, you gotta take the,
Gotta take the
take
vote.
the roll, Mayor.
Okay. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
Last item is a closed session regarding the workers' compensation claim of David Carrasquillo, claim number 2012-007-ING. The ADJ number is 8330029. And as to that, there's a request for motion to settlement authority up to $49,450.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
No other oral reports from the city attorney's office.
CC1.
No remark.
Manager's Office. Oh, I'm sorry, but right now, CC1.
No remarks, thank you.
All right. You know what, Artie, they left you off the agenda.
Monthly treasurer's report for the month ending.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Did you have anything? All right, all right. He's just disregarded. CT1.
Monthly treasurer's report for the month ending April 30th, 2018.
Receive and file. CT2. Or report, City Treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to give a brief report as of April the 30th, 2018. And again, copies are on the outside table for the public. And also the report will also be on the internet within about 2 weeks. For the City of Inglewood, funds under management is $107,106,079. And the gross investment interest earnings to service debt is $2,203. And the gross investment earnings is $204,846. For the successor agency, funds under management is $61,206,039. And the gross investment interest earnings to service debt is $30,681. Housing Authority, $102,843. And the gross investment earnings is $382. Public financing, $12,508,574, and the gross investment interest earnings is $6,902. Total funds under management, $180,923,535. And just a little report regarding global debt. The amount of debt held in the world rose by the largest sum in 2 years, by $8 trillion. Global debt now has risen to more than $247 trillion, which is 318% of the world's gross domestic product. The problem with the pace and speed, according to this report, is that if you borrow or if you lend very quickly, the quality of credit tends to suffer. So this global debt has grown in households, non-financial corporates, the government, as well as in the financial sectors. That concludes my remarks, and want to congratulate the mayor on his report on Sunday, his TV report. It was an excellent report. Appreciate it. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you very much. CSA, hold on one second. We're at CSA 2 now.
On May 29th, 2018, and June 12th, 2018.
Move approval. Second. Madam Clerk.
Successor agency members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. CSA 3.
Monthly Treasurers Report for the month ending April 30th, 2018.
Receive and file. During the successor agency, the Housing Authority is already in session. H2.
Approval of the minutes for the Housing Authority meeting held on May 29th, 2018, and June 12th, 2018.
Second. Madam Clerk.
Housing Authority members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. H3.
Monthly Treasurers Report for the month ending April 30th, 2018.
Receive and file. Adjourn the Housing Authority. The Finance Authority is in session. F1.
Approval of the minutes for the Finance Authority meeting held on May 29th and June 12th, 2018.
Approval. Second.
Finance Authority members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. F2.
Monthly Treasurers Report for the month ending April 30th, 2018.
Receive and file. Adjourn the Finance Authority. Parking Authority is already in session. P1.
Approval of the minutes for the Parking Authority meeting held on May 29th and June 12th, 2018.
Approval. Second. Madam Clerk.
Parking Authority members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. Before we go to public comments, sir, what was your name?
Larry Johnson.
Larry, that is Melanie McDade behind you. She's going to take you in her office, and you can tell her about your issue with the parking permits. She manages the parking operation. McDade, would you take him? Any person who wishes to address City Council on any matter connected with city business may do so at this time. Persons with complaints regarding city management or department operations requested to submit those complaints first to the city manager for resolution.
My name is Joseph Texera. This is a lawsuit filed by Mark Little, who last time I checked was an assistant pastor at Faithful Central Bible Church. In it, he says, quote, "At its core, this lawsuit is about abuses of power and violation of civil rights perpetrated by the city of Inglewood through its current mayor, James T. Butts, and his current report, Melanie McDade Dickens, while acting under color of law." In the lawsuit, he says that both the mayor and his assistant used intimidation and defamation to try to ruin his career and have him shunned at the church only because he didn't do something that Butts wanted him to do. I'm asking that the paper, Inglewood Today, and Willie Brown, that any association with the city with that paper be ceased, because at least one other community paper reported on this, but in order to hide problems with this mayor and some of the administration, again, Inglewood Today is hiding problems from the public.
Alfonso Parker, Vietnam veteran. I'm here to say unequivocally, do not touch Maxine Waters physically. She has a right to walk here butt naked if she wants to. Do not touch her. She has done enough harm to the black community and collateral damage around her through her VA financial and interstate, VA is national and international, Africa financing, where she has screwed us to hell. Let her walk through the gauntlet she made to travel with this ethics issue. That is not constitutional. They have been operating outside the Constitution since they began this stuff. Leave her alone. Let her walk her own gauntlet. She created this mess trap. Let her fall and wallow in her own stuff. Do not touch this woman physically. You negate where I come from. She is wrong. She needs to pay for it like Bernie made a stripper from the time she hit the California border from St. Louis, Missouri, and profited. Her family members and everybody else. But you do it by the law. She's in violation of the Constitution and all her collaborators.
Mr. Parker, your time's up.
Preaches that.
Mr. Parker, your time is up.
And good afternoon, Mayor, Council, City staff. Renal Davis, 2nd District. I, too, watched the Ion LA segment this past weekend, and it was very informative, and two things stick out in my mind, Mayor. Maybe you can elaborate further. I live near the intersection of Hazel and Centinela, and if they're going to go, if they can go overhead, I imagine, as you stated, we're going to have to get this started quick because that's going to be quite a retrofit. And the other thing is with the Verizon
5G?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Maybe you could share exactly what that is. And it's something that I dreamed about with a fellow who is no longer working for the city, Mike Falco. Years ago, we had this kind of dream that the whole city could be just hardwired and integrated. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, council members. First off, let me share with you that I don't appreciate anyone, not even the mayor, suggesting that I choke myself in a public meeting. That was uncalled for. I just wonder how many workplace situations are going to be created where someone sues us for a hostile work environment that you created but will have to pay for. That is really kind of sad. Having said that, I hope that everyone goes on the internet and checks out the Daily Breeze story. As I have said for far too long, we are paying some members of our staff far more than we should. When we compare our chief of police with 200 officers to another chief with 14,000 officers, ours should not be paid more.
Actually, he's doing a better job, but thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, staff, and all our guests that are watching us on television and listening in. I've been living in Los Angeles, in Inglewood actually, for over 50 years. My name is Curtis Mitchell, and I'd like to say this to Madison Square Garden. You're trying to stop an economic growth here in our city. Mayor Butts has brought something to this city in the last 8 years that we've never had, and that's pride and dignity. It's not just about the money and the jobs, but it's about the pride and the dignity that they're trying to stop our city from having an economical growth. And I just want to applaud you, Mayor Butts, for staying on television. That was a television series worth $2 or $3 million to represent our city. It wasn't about representing you. It was about representing Inglewood, and I'd applaud you. Keep up the great work.
My name is Willie A.G., and I piggyback on what this gentleman just said. I want to stand here in defense of my Congresswoman, Maxine Wallace. I appreciate her. I appreciate what she's doing, and I'm proud of her. Hope she keep up the good work. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll close public comment. Council comment. Councilman Dodson, District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First order of business, I'd like to congratulate the mayor for his interview on Newsmaker. I've heard nothing but great comments. I've had people call me wanting to see it over again. So you did a marvelous job on that one. I want to also thank Richard Galindo and the 68th Street Block Club for inviting me out to their 4th Avenue block party. This block party was the biggest one I've ever seen. It fanned for about 3.5 blocks. And for 3.5 blocks, the street was full. I've never seen one that big. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to that neighborhood for doing such a great job. And with that, I hope you all have a blessed day, a blessed rest of the day and week. Thank you for coming out.
Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to congratulate you. And if you haven't had an opportunity to see that, it was on Channel 7 this past Sunday at 11 o'clock. You owe it to yourself. You talk about putting Inglewood on the map for all the right reasons and then clarifying everything that we're doing in Inglewood, and be able to do that in less than 30 minutes on a talk show, which I think you had 22 minutes of that. So it was a great opportunity. You owe it to yourself to see that. I also want to thank our Parks and Rec staff. A couple of weeks ago on a Saturday, they put together an RBI program over at Darby Park, returning baseball to the inner city. And we had a few LA Dodger players out there. The mayor and I were out there, spent some time with the kids and their families. And I got to tell you, the smile on the kids' faces and the smile on the parents' faces said it all. A great community event. I want to thank the LA Dodgers, and I want to thank the Inglewood Police Department, the LA County Fire Department, and all of the community for coming out to make that event such a huge community success. Talk about community. For your calendars, on Tuesday, August the 7th, from 5:30 to 7:30, we're going to be doing its National Night Out. So Inglewood Police Department's going to have a bunch of activities going on right here on Gravella, right behind City Hall, from 5:30 to 7:30, and it's to show appreciation of our public safety. So please put that on your calendar. We'll have flyers for you as we move forward to that date. If you're looking for something to do this coming Sunday, July 15th, Loyola Marymount University, LMU, is doing their annual Salsa Festival. Great event, so come on down and just bring your lawn chair, bring a blanket, bring your lunch, your refreshments, and just enjoy a day of some good salsa music. With that, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Franklin, District 4.
Yes, I too want to thank Parks and Recs and the Inglewood Police Department for an outstanding job in coordinating with the Dodgers organization at Darby Park. It was outstanding to see the youth engaged in their Dodger camp, and then ultimately the number of booths that was made available thereafter. It was a great family gathering for those kids with their family, friends, and loved ones. I also want to reach out and personally thank Sabrina Barnes and the Public Works Department for their outstanding job for the only park in District 4 called Center Park. I regularly visit that park, and I'm just overwhelmed of the magnitude of how many residents are coming to use that park. Before, there was no activities or apparatuses that would inspire an adult to be there with their children, but now with the rubberized track, the 8 exercise stations, the 3 gazebos where they can have their own picnics on site, and remodernize the restroom has been a win-win, as well as the new equipment for the kids. It has been well used and continues to be utilized every day of the week. And again, thanks for your efforts of finding the funding and also being able to maintain the park that the community enjoys immensely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Morales, District 3.
Briefly would like to touch on the RBI program, baseball. Baseball is one of those sports that if there's not a huge effort to keep in the community, it leaves. Your talent, your players, they go elsewhere, and everybody welcomes them. We have so much talent here. So I'll tell you that for the Dodgers and mostly staff to stay focused on bringing baseball back to our fields, which you have to know that having baseball fields to begin with for a city our size, it's an amazing resource that we have. So we have to do the best we can to use them in this kind of way and get the kids out there. So I want to thank everybody for that. The 4th of July, we still had a lot of fireworks in the sky, but I have to say it was an immense improvement. And I was walking the neighborhood that evening, and I wasn't the only one that felt that way. There was a lot of residents that were enjoying the day, and a lot of it is owed to the weeks before where the police department was on it. I want to say, we really appreciate all the efforts the police department did throughout the 4th of July week and that evening, because it is so difficult to be responsive to those type of exercises when they have the illegal fireworks. So I want to thank the chief and everybody on the way down.
Councilman, Alex said it was his signs in District 2 that did it.
I bet that
It's all those
it's the signs.
Don't forget code enforcement.
We're gonna need,
Code enforcement did a great job.
well, what I was gonna say was that code enforcement did a lot, but I'm glad your phone number was up there. And I think I saw one of those signs. We should put signs up to solve all our problems. But anyway, the bottom line is I definitely want to say that there was a significant improvement. I want to thank the block clubs who this year were extremely responsible. And, afterwards, a couple of them had already assigned cleaning crews from their volunteers for the residents. So I just want to thank them for that. Other than that, Mayor, just want to say thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Wanted to address Mr. Davis's questions. First, about the Great Separation. I'm a vice chair of Metro. I'll be the chair next year. But I have been involved in this discussion about the Great Separation at Centinela and Florence since I've been on the council. The reality is this, that the traffic count at Centinela and Florence is indistinguishable from the traffic count at La Brea and Florence, and it should have been marked for Great Separation initially. But what happened with Metro, to save money for cities they didn't feel would be able to push back, they did at grade crossings, and I'm just going to be honest about it. And I have been engaged with the brass and top people at Metro for the last 7 years. Now that I'm on the board, we have more traction, and we are seeking to get an EIR to grade separate that intersection. Now, it's going to cost, where it would have been initially $25 million 7-8 years ago, it's up to $200 million to do it. But I believe that we will prevail, and here's what's going to have to happen. Because the construction is already underway, and the line is supposed to open in October 2019, it'll go at grade, and what will happen is, if we prevail, there'll be what's called a shoe fly. There's going to be a rail that goes out into the number 3 lane of Florence. It goes around that intersection while they construct it to make it an above grade separation. That's our goal. So we're definitely not out of the woods, but we are at least they hear us now. And then for your question about 5G, what 5G is to 4G is the comparison between dial-up and broadband. These are small towers that have a bandwidth to the degree that you no longer need wireless. This will give us the opportunity to have a better digital equity to the households that can't afford wireless products. And so this is an exciting opportunity. We haven't finished the negotiations, but we're in negotiations with them right now. And as far as the police chief's salary, let me say this unequivocally. The police chief's base salary is not greater than that of the LAPD chief or the sheriff. He received a retroactive pay in this last year to compensate him for certificate monies that he wasn't being paid. He received a $20,000 performance bonus, and he is unique in that he has been with the department for 38 years, and he is one of the people that remains that gets longevity, that ends up being a chief of police here. So there's about 20% in his pay that another chief wouldn't get. Even with that, he does not exceed the sheriff or the chief of the LAPD. He's somewhere in the top third of chiefs in the county of Los Angeles. And let's talk about the work that he's done. He's maintained throughout the entire of his tenure the lowest crime rate in the history of the city, period. Liability is from police misconduct and uses of force have dropped drastically compared to his predecessors. And as far as community involvement and engagement, the police department has never been more accepted and never been more engaged than it has under his tenure. And if we could pay him to be the top in the county, I'd certainly recommend it. I'm glad that we have one person that the Breeze can always go to tell us how bad we're doing, but they can only find one. And let's see. I was on Conan Nolan news conference Sunday before this last one, and Eyewitness Newsmakers this Sunday. Finally, there are media broadcast outlets that want to know the real story about what's going on in this city. This city has progressed like no other in this country over the past 3 to 4 years. And so, remember everybody, this is an election season, election in November, and there's going to be all kinds of crazy lawsuits filed and all kinds of stories, but the reality is, look at the results. Look at your streets, look at your trees, look at your public safety, look at the people that are investing in this community. Look at the unemployment rate drop precipitously the last 7 years. Look at the generational wealth that homeowners now have to pass on to their children, or if they choose to have a reverse mortgage so they can live out the rest of their days in security without anxiety. Look at the reality of what's going on here, not all the smoke and the distraction. This is the new Inglewood. And also, look at all the people that stand out to the street at the Big Donut to get donuts in the middle of the night after a concert. That says it all, right? It says it all. So with that, we're adjourned.
Are we sworn in yet?